Hey YouTube, this is Nashtaters. Welcome back to another episode of War of the Visions. Now obviously I thought that was going to be enough news that's covering what's going on Wednesday, but it turns out they're actually bringing out exact details of what we're going to be seeing on Wednesday. And of course today's Monday news, so why don't we take the time to cover it. Another thing is I've decided I'm going to think about whether or not to summon for the new sniper unit. And instead of convincing you guys, I'm going to decide I should be convincing myself if I should be summoning for her. Alright, before we get into news coverage, I want to do a little house cleaning. I think I want to thank y'all for the continued support of the channel because lately we've been giving a lot more comments in the comment section below with each video. And I think the most recent one that I'm getting a lot of feedback was the wish list for 2021. I think I want to add a little bit more of myself. The one that I really felt like I wanted to add was coverage of multiplayer. I think lately when I'm trying to look for rooms in multiplayer, there just doesn't seem to be a lot of players playing multiplayer with random people anymore. I think a lot of people are more getting involved with their guildies and perhaps people in their friend lists and whatnot. So hopefully the game will kind of make multiplayer a little bit more improved so we can see more collaborative play with other players from the community. So we know that Final Fantasy XIV campaign is getting a rerun, and we're also perhaps getting new quests this week because I'm staring right at it right now. So let's go ahead and briefly cover it. Shadowbringers is coming back. Looks like we're going to get a lot of gems, a lot of slash visitors for this specific 10-day period. And I'm, for one, really happy that this is happening because for me, that's 20 days of full coverage of Shadowbringers rerun. So you're going to get Ishtala for those who don't have her. And of course, you're going to get tons and tons of free gems here. 5,000 visitors plus 2,000, what they're calling it, reissue tombstones of things. Reissue tombstones, because you know when they're giving names like this, it's so hard for me to pronounce and I'm not going to bother butchering it. They also give you reissue summon tickets, which is an opportunity to get more shards for Thancred. They're going to be also giving us a challenge quest, which essentially is the bingo board, which you can earn more gems and more tickets and of course tons of Wishlist shards, which for those of you who are new is a great opportunity because we didn't have this before, I believe. And for those who are older players, we simply just farmed the heck out of the event and then used all of those the tombstones to actually exchange for the shards of her. But now most of us should already have enough shards to max her. But for those of you who are joining the game, congratulations, you got a great opportunity to get a nice unit. And it also says there'll be special daily missions help to summon this celebrate this event so that you can get more opportunity to gain reissue summon tickets. Very, very nice. Essentially, you just keep doing the quest, kind of like most quests. You try to conquer 10 different maps and then you open up the EX quest. And you should be able to earn enough medals to gain all of the job memories for both her and Thancred. And that's something I need to do because I actually did not buy all those job memories for Ishtala, so therefore mine was never maxed. And the fact that she got a little bonus boost in terms of her master ability, I think she actually may be a worthy look in terms of using her for PvE purposes. In fact, she was actually one of the better units back in the days for PvE purposes because she had a humongous AoE attack. And I think she's going to be a great addition to your team in terms of fighting for PvE content. Now, I'm not exactly sure if the Bale Gauntlet was here last time because I actually did not farm these two because you know, the game first started with this specific event and I simply wasn't strong enough to be farming these things, I believe. So now this gives me an opportunity to be farming for both since a lot of people had this weapon, you know, the actual gun sword or whatever. And I didn't have these, so I think I'm going to go back and just farm these up. I don't even know how good these are, to be honest. I never really looked into it. And I wasn't doing any coverage of this game back in the days. I kind of jumped in and started making coverage, I believe, right around the time of the next collaboration after this, which was Final Fantasy Tactics. So it's telling you that you can actually earn Thancred if this is your first time. I believe you can just straight out buy him. Now, when this was released in Japan, they did not get an opportunity to do that. And that was kind of the first sign that Global was going to be a little bit different than the Japanese version, which is great, right? So there you go. You can actually just farm tons of medals and go ahead and buy Thancred from the shop, or you can obviously summon for him. But bear in mind, he is going to be one of those premium units where everything costs 2 times. New weekly campaign, we're of course celebrating this new girl, the sniper. And we're going to be getting another 2,500 gems, and we're going to be getting 1 rainbow and 1 rainbow fragment of thought. Double JP, double item drop from campaign, so good enough for there. And of course, Guga and Sega, but this is part 2, so this should be brand new, I believe. And we're going to be getting access to, of course, items for Guga and Sega. Just kidding, not Guga and Sega. Niv, and of course, the other person, Liv. So we have Niv and Liv. So you're should be able to get job enhancing materials for both. And of course, ultimately, you can also earn Rainbow Sphere and Rainbow Fragment of Thought. Very, very cool. Like I said before, these type of things, you just have to conquer 10 separate maps, in which case you can open up the EX shop quest. And you'll get the killer bow. Now, I'm not exactly sure if this was in part 1 of Guga and Sega. I don't believe so, because I would have had the bow already. Either that, I skipped it because I didn't have any bow units. So if this is a rerun, of course, great opportunity to earn a killer bow. If it's not a rerun, then of course is our opportunity to earn a killer bow. Personally, I highly recommend getting the critical version, especially if you're going for Niv, because that's where she needs to shine, is doing lots of critical damage. In recent watching Cabbage's video, I've learned personally that you do gain extra AP for doing critical damage. So again, this is highly the recommended weapon for her in terms of being the most synergistic weapon. Of course, you're going to be earning tons of different things as you're exchanging these materials, and of course we'll also get access to secret books as always, and that's always a good time for you to just keep farming it up if you have the time. Guild battle change, and of course it made perfect sense to try to boost the usefulness of Niv, so they're increasing missile attack and accuracy up. Something to bear in mind. Increasing accuracy up essentially means that perhaps your evasion team might take a hit, but bear in mind it's time to be equipping a lot of perhaps missile attack resistance for this map, since a lot of the guildy defenses are going to be perhaps using missile users. So that's something to keep in mind. That's essentially all the news. And overall, one specific thing perhaps I should have added to my wish list is a tank for water. I'm hoping in 2021 they will give us a tanky unit, because I am personally desperately seeking for a tank for the water team, because I don't know if they're going to be bringing us anything specific in terms of requiring water. I know we just recently dealt with that in terms of one of those new maps, the brutal difficulty. If you use a full water team, you can actually gain more access to more books, I believe, for one of those recipe farming ones. But we don't really have tanks, so that might seem a little bit rough. But either way, hopefully in the future we'll have more tanks. I think that's all the time for this video. I thank y'all for watching. I want to thank y'all for listening. Remember, time is your most valuable resource. Spend it wisely. Until next time, take care of yourself, all your loved ones. Nashtaters and his family out of here. Peace.